Hi, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to do something different. This weekend I went fishing, tried to catch some trout with the same stuff I've been using all year, mostly nymphs and dry flies. Didn't catch a single fish with either of those. So I finally put on some old streamers, some that I tied 30 years ago, and boom, started catching fish. So I guess streamers is what they wanted. So anyway, like I said, these are streamers I tied 30 years ago. Tied them for bass originally, so I was kind of surprised that they caught trout, but they did. Anyway, here's one. This is the one that actually caught my first cutthroat trout in Arkansas, which I was pretty excited about, frankly. And I'm going to go ahead and tie up another one of these because if it's catching fish, I want to have more than one in my bag. So that's what we're going to do. It's a size 8 streamer hook here. It's a little bit different than that hook. I don't think I still have the same hooks I had 35 years ago. This is a little bit longer than that one, but that should not make any difference. It should be fine. I'm not going to have to really worry a whole lot about coverage and smoothing and all the stuff that you have to do on those Perdigon style nymphs. This is all going to be covered up with yarn. There's no tail on this fly. So the yarn I'm going to be using is just some old yarn. I mean, I don't even remember where I bought this stuff from, but I'm almost out. Probably if I were to have tried to tie this fly today instead of 30 years ago, I probably would have tried to find some proper dubbing or something. But I'm going to tie this out of the same materials that I tied the one that caught the fish. I don't see why not. If it's working, why change it? All right. And actually, I'm going to start this back up higher. So I'm just going to tie them both in together on the top of the hook. And just secure it down with just open wraps down to the bend. And then come back. And like I said, this is not critical in terms of keeping everything perfect. It's all going to be covered up anyway. Giving me a little bit more grief than I thought it would. All right. So I'm going to park the thread back up where I want the wing to come in, to be a little ways behind the eye. Now I didn't have this fancy rotating vise when I tied the original. So it's going to be a whole lot easier. I'm just going to capture that in. And then trim that off. And like most streamers, this is going to end up with a big old head. Now, the underwing is this stuff called flashaboo. I don't see this talked about a whole lot anymore. There's all kinds of new stuff that has kind of taken over the old Flashabou roll. But I've still got a lot of it. And it still works fine. Just do a pin trap to get that secured. Get it all up on the top of the hook. And we'll trim this off. And the overwing is marabou, which is orange marabou, because I originally tied this fly for bass. And one thing I can tell you about bass is they like orange. Before I put that in, I'm going to want to trim this. Trim it to about the length of the hook. Alright. Now you want this right smack on top. Okay. And trim this close and at an angle. Flatten your thread. And just bury all this. See if I can bury that up by the eye too. Let's try to get that as clean as I can. See if I can flatten my thread without dropping it this time. Alright, that's about as good as I think I'm going to get it. Flatten my thread again for the whip finish. Alright, now what I want to do is I want to break off this marabou. There we go. And we will get really old school and douse this head in head cement. I don't know. I don't have a name for this guy, so if somebody has an idea for a name, post it in the comment. Maybe you'll name a fly. All right. I think that'll do it. You should try these things. It's a surprise to me that it worked when nothing else would, but it did. So maybe you should give one a try too. So thanks, and if you like this, please consider subscribing and like my channel. Thank you.